Hey guys. It's been kind of hectic. I've recorded a few times and haven't posted it. It's kind of a struggle to set up a routine when things change a lot frequently. So I don't know. I've just kind of gotten to the point where I do one day in the house, like a part of my apartment, and another day out in the yard. And then after I do two sets. So like, right now I'm working on cleaning my bedroom, and I just got done making up a garden bed. Here, I'll show you guys. I lost my gloves. So working on that area over there is where my hammock is. And I got chunks of bark dust in my shoes. So I just took everything out of this garden bed. I'm gonna do a little bit of an experiment with it. So this end isn't the grass, and then the other end is into the garden. So it's running north-south orientation. The northern end, I just watered it really well. So we've got this clay. I'll show you what our clay does. See if I can find a version of it. Clay. Our clay is so clayey. It just has to dry out a little bit. You get these big cracks here. See this big crack. And then this is I don't know, maybe like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. And it's just huge cracks. So this garden bed, it's been a while since it's been amended, and it had big cracks going through it. So I tried a couple of experiments. So this end towards the garden to about here, so maybe 3 feet. All I did was got it wet and pulled the weeds off the top of it. Got it wet and put down some sawdust and some compost from a really old compost container. The next area, from about here to here, I took garden fork and I kind of loosened it a little bit, but it comes off in these big clumps, these big watermelon-sized clumps. So I didn't really do anything with those. I put sawdust and compost on top of that. And then this other area, so about half the bed, I went through after I had I like forked it loose, watered it in. We had a thunderstorm today, so we got a bit of rain. And I came back after that, had some time to kind of soak into that clay, and I loosened it up. So I took like a really tiny, like toothed rake, like a landscaping rake, which is just 4 tines that are kind of pretty sharp, like a pitchfork, and broke up all of those clumps. Of course, after I had put compost and a little bit of sawdust on it, and then I smoothed it all out, and then over all of it, I made sure that it all got watered in pretty good after I'd smoothed everything out. And then my brain, I added a little bit of some rock dust, some wood ash, and then on top of all of that, I put down some more sawdust. And then I'd watered over that, and then I put down the tarps. So the tarps are just like this, I don't know, it's rubber-like. This is my bedroom, working on cleaning it. I pulled that carpet up. I shampooed the carpet. It smelled so gross. I mean, like, it was fine when it was in here. I took it out to the yard so that it could dry. And it just, like, the whole yard just smelled like a cat pee factory. That was not good. So, garden bed. I put the blue tarp down. Blue tarp is kind of like what they make those plasticky rubber raft things out of. And I just kind of spread that across, and then it wasn't quite long enough, so I put down we have these carpet squares things, carpet tiles, I think is what they call them, carpet tiles. And so then I put those down after I had watered it all down. So it should be ready in a few days. I'm going to plant some lettuces in there, some cruciferous vegetables in there. And I think that also another thing that I'm going to try is after it, so today is what, Tuesday, I believe? Let's double check. Wow. Yeah, Tuesday, August 9th. So probably by this weekend, I'll give it like 5 or 6 days, covered, watered it in. That's going to help hold the moisture in. It will trigger the worms to come in. I also thought about just getting some live compost. The compost that I have in my compost bin doesn't have any worms in it because it's in a metal bin. So, like, I never put worms in it. And it's old. Like, it's been 4 or 5 years. Just kind of bacteria composting. Bacteria and some fungus. But it's really dry. So there wouldn't be worms alive in it anyway. Because it was really dry. So I watered that in. I was thinking about putting some other live compost in it that has some live worms in it. Just to try and get some worms up there. But I think that there might be enough water that the worms will come in. Because when I was digging through the spots that I dug through, there was like 0 signs of worms. Which means it had like no organic material in it. So we'll see how this goes. So when a few days go by, probably like Monday or Tuesday, like maybe a week or so, I'm gonna try digging through it, see if wetting it, mulching it basically with compost, and then the sawdust, and then covering it and letting it sit is going to soften up the clay enough that I can dig through it, or if I have to do more work to it. And I'm also going to just plant straight into it the way that it is. So like if I were to do what would happen if I just put compost on top of dirt and plant it in compost versus stirring it in. The constants are that everybody's got the same amount of compost, the same kind of compost, it's got the same amount of sawdust, it's got the same kind of sawdust, it all came from the same pile, and the rock dust and the wood ash all came from the same places. So they're all constant that way, amendment wise, but the experimentation is about soil compaction. The clay soil got hard on the end towards the garden, the north end. The next spot was I kind of broke through the top. It's like a crust pan. It's like hard pan, but on the top, so I call it a crust. So I broke through the crust. The crust was about 6 inches deep. Pretty insane. And then threw compost on top of that. And then the rest of it, I kind of broke those clumps up into baseball golf ball sizes, and a lot smaller also, but like once things hit about baseball golf ball size, especially golf ball size, I stopped trying to break it up. I didn't really dig down very deep, maybe the 6 to 10 inches, depending on like what the fork picked up. And then the last little part, the difference will be that it's got carpet squares, which allow carpet tiles, which allow some of the moisture to come up. It'll also be easier to water it if I feel like I need to water it. I'll check on it halfway through. So, well, that's gonna be the thing. That's the experiment, is like just water and compost. Will the worms come in? I don't know. Will it be easier to cultivate then? Will it even need to be cultivated? Because this is a way that I can do this so that it doesn't require digging, which I can show my aunt who can't dig, and she can do some bed prep this way as well. Because if it works in this bed, it should work in our garden as well. Yeah, so that's the garden thing for today. Yesterday I did a big swamp on my bedroom. I got rid of like all the stuff sitting on the floor, in the middle of mopping right now. It actually smells kind of clean. I do still have to get like all the way under my bed, like over here under that the palm tree thing. Is its little, I still have to pull all that stuff out. But I think since under the bed is where the kittens used to go to the bathroom the most, I really am going to move these dressers some so that I can pull the bed away from that window, and then I can really clean underneath there. That's the goal. But that's not the project for today. So today I mopped a little bit, and that's extra bonus because today is not an inside day. Today's an outside day. Since we had a thunderstorm and it was raining and I had already changed my shirt, I figured I would just do some of that work. So I got a spray bottle, and I put some hydrogen peroxide in it and sprayed the really gross parts. Let that sit for a few minutes, and then came through and mopped with a Pine Sol mix, and it got up a lot of the messes. I don't know if I've got pictures of how gross it was before I mopped it, so maybe I'll put those up on my Learning to Be Me Facebook page so you guys can see the changes. Huh? See, peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, and baking soda and Dawn dish soap. It's kind of what you use for if an animal gets skunked. It's supposed to work for cat pee as well. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, haven't posted in a while. I figured I would try again making a video and try again at uploading it. So we'll see how this goes. Since I do have something else I can listen to, my tablet, while I'm waiting for this video to upload. Anyway, yeah, Learning to Be Me at Facebook. I still have that Facebook account, but I haven't really added anything to it for a while. So maybe I'll get back into doing that again. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys!